If I ever got on the bad side of the Kinsey brothers, I would truly be terrified. Happy New Year. I'm so happy to see you guys have returned to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jaylenepryorreads, where we turn every page into a journey. And I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you. I hope you guys had a great one because I did not. I was very sick on New Year's Eve. I actually stayed home from the New Year's Eve party that my aunt throws every year because I had a fever. I was in really bad shape. So I stayed home for the New Year's with my family, and we just, my man and I watched the fireworks on the balcony while our baby slept throughout the night. Thankfully, and I'm so happy the fireworks did not wake him up. But I'm glad we are in the new year. I have some very big goals for myself that I want to achieve. As far as my reading goals for this year, I want to read 75 books. Will that be obtainable? Sure. Can I do it? We'll see. Now for this video, I just want this to be a mood reading vlog. Right now I'm actually listening to Imperial Dark, and this is my very first read of the year. I'm listening to it on Audible, and although it is a good book, I guess because of the type of learner that I am, I'm more of a visual learner, so having an auditory way of hearing a book is not the easiest thing for me to, retain the information that I'm listening to. Whenever I do listen to an audiobook, I try to tandem read with the physical book in hand, but I don't have it at the moment, so I'm trying to listen to this very in-depth book. It is called Immortal Dark. It is a black fantasy novel that has to do with vampires. From what I gathered so far, the female main character wants to know and learn who killed her sister named June. So she goes on a quest to find the vampire who did that. She met a gentleman, I forget his name, I'll put it on the screen. She met him, and I believe they are going to be true enemies to lovers. And supposedly he is the one that killed her twin sister. I think she was a twin. I'm really trying to keep up with the storyline. It's really hard for me too because I don't have the text in front of me. Being that I am a full-time mom right now and try to listen to the audiobook at the same time is a little hard. I need to hurry because the sun is quickly setting, but I want to tell you about the book that I did start last night. It is called A Beauty of the Street Love by Elle Kaysen, and she is known for writing Demon's Dream, which is my absolute favorite book of the year that I read in 2024. However, for this book, it is about the Kinsey brothers. They are 4 brothers who are a part of a family that are drug lords, basically. To start the book off, there's a gentleman called Tavon, and he works under the Kinsey brothers that pretty much pushes the dope for them. He did some shiesty stuff, and now the Kinsey brothers are out for blood. They wanted to go hit a lick on him. However, prior to them showing up, Tavon's sister, Shamar, she goes by Shay, she showed up to his apartment just to pay him a visit. When the brothers crashed into his place, he pretty much had to put up his sister for collateral so that they wouldn't kill him. Shamar is pretty much intertwined with the eldest brother. Her name is Trey. She doesn't know how long she has to be under his wing, basically. He can do whatever he wants to her when he wants. It's similar to Demon's Dream is what I'm kind of picking up, but later on in the story, this is not a spoiler, but her best friend Sin is looking for her because the next day they were supposed to go on a vacation, and obviously she didn't show up to said vacation when Sin was looking to pick her up. So Sin knew exactly where the Kinsey brothers were, posted up at, and she rolled up on them and asked where her best friend was, obviously. And one of the brothers has always had an eye on Sin, so his name is Trip. He pretty much wants to shoot a shot at her. Sin and Trip become a little thing, and Trey and Shay, they become a thing. There's a lot of names in this story, so it's kind of hard to make sure they match up correctly. With that being said, I am about more than halfway done with the book right now, and there's a lot of spicy scenes in it, which I don't mind. I like it. But the undertone underneath all of the spice, they are building a plot because there is a person called Alonzo Prince. He wants to take over more of the territory in the town in Texas. I believe they're in Houston. He's pretty much impeding on the territory of the Kinsey brothers and the Kinsey family. The brothers have to figure out who this guy is and make sure he doesn't impede on their territory, along with having, undertones of a love story, an instant love story. It is very fast paced. I'm enjoying it very much. The spice scenes are obviously very spicy. I'm gonna continue reading and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Let me know if you guys are reading any books right now at the moment. I really want to see what you guys are reading at the top of the year in January of 2025. I did forget to mention that my boyfriend and I discovered a new ramen spot here in Tampa and it was delectable, delicious. I want to go back again ASAP. It is called Manano's Ramen near Citrus Park Mall, and they have a plethora of very good ramen you can choose from. I personally got the seafood ramen and he got some chicken ramen. I forget the exact name of it. And I also got a boba called Taru. It's a milkshake with whipped cream on top and it was so good. Hello beautiful people, I want to give you a bit of a reading update. I'm about 80% done with A Beauty of a Street Love by L. Kaysen, and this book is very unhinged and it's right up my alley. The last time we talked, I told you guys that Shay and her best friend Sin are linking up with 2 of the 4 brothers, the Kinsey brothers. Shay is with the eldest brother Trey, who had just gotten out of prison and he wants to get out of the game. He does not want to be involved with, taking out anyone because that was his main role. He was pretty much the enforcer. But right now, there was a scene where one of the brothers' good friends just opened up a club in their town in Houston and they all wanted to go out as far as brothers. Shay got into a fight with Trey at the mall. If you know, you know. She and her girlfriend Sin decided to pull up at the same club and pretty much show their asses. I found that scene hilarious. However, what I did not find funny was a goofy named David. Who the fuck is David? He is somebody that is very much a hater. He's been hating on Trey and his brother since middle school, and he's the type of guy who wants to see you fail just because he's jealous of you. So he decided to do some shiesty stuff to Shay, and that did not go well with Trey. So he's trying to handle that situation right now. I had to take a little break because I needed to put my son to bed, but I'm going to try to finish the rest of this book. It's only about an hour left of reading and I'll let you guys know what happens. By the way, this David guy said that he has some information for the brothers about the Alonzo Prince person. I guess that's his boss. So we're going to see what bullshit he has to say. I just came on real quick to say Katira, whatever that bitch's name is so trifling and she deserves to get her ass whooped every which way. I digress. It is actually brick outside in Florida and I am very surprised. I woke up to the temperature being 44 degrees and I did not want to get out of bed at all. However, good morning. It is the next day. Last night I did finish A Beauty of this Street Love by L. Kaysen and it was a really good book. One little tip that I do have, I hate to say it, but it was not plot driven at all in the first book. The plot was very mediocre and they didn't really touch much on what the whole plot of the series is about till the last 20-ish%. Mainly the book was all smut, it was all spice scenes, which I do not mind, but I do need a little bit more of the plot within the first book because it wasn't enough for me. Not that they didn't touch on it, they did, but they waited a little too late into the book for some stuff to happen. I was a little shocked by the plot twist at the end of the first book because I did not expect the person to be affiliated with Alonzo Prince, and they hit very close to home with one of the main characters within the book. So I was shocked by that, and shocked by the people that were affected by an event that happened at the end of the book. I don't want to say what happened because I would give away what happened, but I was really touched by that and a little hurt because people that started this event didn't know who was affiliated, and if they did, obviously they would have went about it in a different way so that nobody would get hurt that they care about, but that did not happen. And it was a little sad, so I hope the people or the one person is okay. As far as the banter between Shay and Trey, I found it very cute, and I love the nickname that he gave her because that's my nickname that nobody really knows about. I have a best friend who has been calling me Little Mouse since we were adolescents, so having him call Shay Little Mouse was really cute, and I found that quite adorable. Now, the relationship that they have, it's insta love in a sense. They did kind of fall pretty hard for each other within 5 days. It hadn't even been a full week. They were already, getting it on, and pretty much he was claiming her to be his. He didn't want her to be with anybody else, to talk with anybody else, but that really wasn't an issue because she was very vanilla at the beginning of the book because she was a virgin. She had never been with anyone, dated anyone. She had just finished graduating college and wanted to travel the world and, be a young adult at 22 years old, I believe. So that was nice to see. It's quite refreshing. Even though they are polar opposites of people, like she is very vanilla and new to life, new to seeing the world, while he is the very opposite. He had just gotten out of prison. Trey had just gotten out of prison, and he has seen some things, done some things that the average human will never see or do in their life. Now, as far as Sin and Trip, their relationship was also very cute. He too was very, I don't want to say possessive, but possessive in a way. He too wanted to claim Sin for his own. He didn't want her talking to anybody, being with anybody, seeing anyone. I find that in most, if not all, street literature or urban romance books, that's how the men are. They are very possessive once they come in contact with a woman that they like. They never want them to date anyone outside of them. Even if they do fall out, she can never be with anyone besides him for the rest of her life. And that is pretty crazy, but that's just how it is in these type of genres. I'm ready to hop into the second book. I read the synopsis of it last night and I low-key forgot, but it's hard to tell the synopsis without giving spoilers away from the first book. So I'm gonna try to tell you guys what the second book is about. Basically, we're introduced to, I believe, 2 new characters. Well, one character, she was introduced in the first book, and it is Tamir's ex-girlfriend. He is one of the brothers. I believe he's the youngest brother. We're gonna get more of her backstory in the second book and how she and her ex-boyfriend Tamir may rekindle or hash out all their, bad blood that they had in the past, and maybe they can start fresh and on a new chapter. And then there's someone else, I forgot his name. I'm sure he'll have his own little POV within the book. And as far as the plot line, I'm assuming the second book's gonna be more plot heavy because of what happened at the end of the first book. We need to tie into the second book because there's some people that are very close to the main character who are involved with Alonzo Prince. So we have to see more of that dynamic and see, how it's gonna play out. And I'm excited to start the next book. It's only 207 pages. The first book was 206, so I should get pretty far into the book today. Hopefully finish it tonight. If not, I'll definitely finish it tomorrow. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I'm gonna be reading on my Kindle, and yeah. If I ever got on the bad side of the Kinsey brothers, I would truly be terrified. I just took the fattest naps of our lives, and it was amazing. However, right before I fell asleep, I read one chapter of book 2 of Beauty of This Street Love. First chapter was really nothing. It was mostly a come to present time of I'm still trying to wake up. Shamar talking about how that past weekend was the worst weekend of her life because of the following events that happened. And now the second chapter is a flashback to a year prior of Tamir's ex-girlfriend. Her name is Crystal. So I'm feeding my son right now. He's trying to be a big boy and hold the bottle himself while he's holding my finger. But I'm gonna feed him, keep reading, and let you guys know how it goes. I actually find it so funny when men get women pregnant in books, especially with tropes like this. It's often because the man has a side chick that he accidentally knocks out, or, you know, the side chick might be lying about being pregnant, and then their girl actually gets pregnant, and they get pissed when their girl hides the baby from them. It's like, what do you expect?
Damn!
It's 1:30 in the morning, and my son is having the time of his life right now, and I just want to go to sleep. He just finished drinking 5 ounces of a 6-ounce bottle because he won't go to sleep, and he's too excited right now. You need to go to sleep. After last night, I feel like a walking zombie, but that's neither here nor there. Good morning. It is the next day. I did read a little bit this morning. I'm about 36% into book number 2 of A Beauty of the Street Love, and the plot is starting to develop, but it is still patchy here and there. It seems to me like it's sprinkled in between all of the smut and the sex scenes that I'm reading in the book so far. However, as far as the plot, it seems that there is a rat that is within the Kinsey Brothers franchise, whatever you want to call it. One of the workers seems to be doing some shady things behind their back, and they're trying to see who the potential rat is. I'm not sure if that's a spoiler. I don't believe it is, because oftentimes with books like this, there always seems to be somebody that's working behind the scenes to do some shady stuff. So trying to see who the rat of the bunch is, and we'll see how it goes. As far as character development, there are new characters that have been introduced into the book. The first new character I can remember, her name is Dr. Rose. Her name is Briere Rose, and this is the surgeon that, without any spoilers, that helped one of the characters in the first book stay alive after an incident happened. And she is starting to link up with one of the brothers that was also introduced at the end of the first book. His name is Tyrese. He wasn't really pivotal in the first book at all. They mentioned him maybe a couple times, but in the second book right now, he's starting to become one of the main focus points of the story and a new love interest in the story. The plot is starting to build, but it's still few and far between. Right now, I'm actually headed to the store. I'm taking a little reading break right now. I have to go pick up some items from the store real quick, and then I'm going to my mom's house to help take down her Christmas decorations now that it is January 6th. Just a quick thought as I'm reading this book right now. Tramel would have me so fucked up thinking that you could get me pregnant, and then I know Shamar made a deal with him saying that they could see other people, but you're not about to be flaunting with some trick that did some shysty stuff with you in the first book and then be in my face in the second book doing some shady stuff and have me see it while I'm pregnant with your baby. That's not happening. You'd be dead. Say good morning, Ella. I finished book 2 last night, and I definitely have a lot of things to say because, in my opinion, I know this is a very popular series. It's up and coming, and it was recently released in 2024. So I don't know. It just feels like it's falling a little flat for me as far as the plot. It's the plot that's just driving me crazy, because in book 2, the one I finished last night, I got up to 64%, and that's when the plot actually started to pick up for real this time. Like, we're actually making strides to, you know, the resolution of finding out who the rat is, first of all, why they let one of their safe houses get raided and someone got very hurt. And at the end of book 2, people got kidnapped. I'm pretty much sure they're going to be used as leverage in book number 3 to lure the Kinsey brothers into Alonzo Prince's, you know, domain, and figure out if they can come up with a resolution. Because obviously the Kinsey brothers are not going to step down. They're not going to give up their territory of what they've already established within their neighborhood in Houston. And Alonzo Prince is also not going to do the same thing. So I'm sure there will be a lot of bloodshed, truth being told in book 3, but book 2 kind of fell flat for me. It was a lot of character development as usual. More people were introduced in book number 2, and it was more concentrated on the unorthodox way that all of the couples got together, or got together again if they had dated in the past. Not that I don't mind the character development and the relationship development of all the characters, but I would have rather more concentrated on the back history of the Kinsey brothers and Alonzo Prince's people more heavily, instead of the last 40-ish% of the book. I hope the last book is more plot heavy, more like 80-20% ratio, but that is to be determined. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about it. It's still very good. I'm not saying it's a bad series. It's just could have been a little better. And I do want to say, I feel like she could have combined all 3 of these books into one book. I feel like that's how she did Demon's Dream. I know Demon's Dream could have been split into a series, but I feel like she squished it all into one book, and I feel like this series could have been that. It would have made sense for the plot for it to all be in one book instead of fragments of little scenes in each book of the series. So I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. It could have been a 600-700 page book, and I would have been fine with that. That's how Demon's Dream was, and I ate that book up. As far as the synopsis for book 3, I did read it, and it seems like not Chantel. What is the twin sister's name? Tamar. It seems like she's gonna have a much bigger role within this 3rd book, because she wants to get more into the family dynamic and be a part of that lifestyle instead of just being the only sister of the Kinsey brothers. So I feel like she's gonna play a pivotal role in this 3rd book. Obviously they're going to be on a mission to rescue the people that got kidnapped at the end of book 2. I hope this last book does not disappoint me. And yeah, so I'm going to start reading. Good morning, happy Thursday. I know I look absolutely insane right now. I just woke up, and this is really the only time throughout the day that I have a little bit of time to record my reading update. Yesterday, I did a smidge of reading. I didn't really read much during the day because obviously I have to tend to my son 24/7. Yes. And ignore my shirt. That's just, his slobber. And I read a little bit last night before bed from like 8:30 to like 9:30. I was extremely tired yesterday, so I didn't read much. And throughout the night while I was feeding him, I read a little bit on my Kindle. So I'm about 20-ish, 25% into the book, and I'm so happy to say the plot is finally starting to pick up and it's finally thickening. Right now, as far as the plot, we are getting to the point where the Kinsey brothers are starting to hone in on Alonzo Prince's location. The Kinsey brothers have captured quite a few of his people, his high up, like chiefs and whatnot. They started to capture them and interrogating them, and if those people are not willing to talk, Trey is being an enforcer and he's doing what he has to do. But one person did cooperate with the Kinsey brothers, and they are willing to somewhat help and air out where Alonzo Prince is. So we're gonna see how that part goes. As far as all the character development and the relationships and the love from the characters, everyone's really starting to fall in love, and it's really sweet, even though it's a very unorthodox way of getting into relationships the way they have. They are really starting to bond over their love for one another, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna try to read as much as I can throughout the day. Hi, baby. And we're gonna see how well this plot goes. I'm happy to say that this third book is kind of changing my mind about this series in general, and the angst is really, heightening. So we're gonna see how it goes. Just a bit of an update right now. I'm 53% through with the third book. This is the final book of the series. You tell by my face that I want this to be over already. Like, ugh. I'm ready to move on, honestly. I don't know. It's still good, but I'm just ready to read something new, something different. I finally finished the third book of this trilogy, and it was very good. I want to give you guys the star ratings of each of the books, my opinions on all of them, and just my general thoughts. My last update I gave you guys, I was more than halfway done with the last book, and the plot definitely picked up, like I've been saying, for the third book as a whole. We finally found out who the rat was. We got to see a lot of the soft sides of the Kinsey brothers. I know they're all hard asses and they want to be all gangsta and everything, but the women that they are dating / the baby mamas, they definitely pull out the soft side in them, which was really nice to see, because gangsters don't love to show that their vulnerable side to anyone. They want to have a facade on and show that nothing hurts them, they don't have any feelings, but these women definitely had them in their feelings. I will say the moral of the story, in my opinion, from what I gathered from all three of the books, is that men will always have a power trip. They always want to one up another. And some men cannot seem to let go of their exes or their baby mamas. No matter how much the woman does not want to be with them, the woman tells them till they're blue in the face, like, I have a new man. I don't need to be with you. I don't want to be with you because you're a deadbeat. You're this and you're that. Yet the ex still wants to be in their life and have some sort of control over them. Oh, hold on, my son is waking up. He just woke up from a nap. I will say the conclusion of this trilogy, it was a very happy ending. I will say the women that were involved in this book, or these books, they definitely showed up and showed out when they needed to. I know their men, want to be all honcho and be like, no, you stay out of this. Like, this is my business to handle. Like, I just have to protect you and take care of you. But the women definitely stepped up when they needed to for their men. And it was really nice to see. As far as the star ratings, book number 1, I gave it 4 stars. Book number 2, 3 stars. And the third book, I gave it 4 stars. So overall, it was a great series to read. I really did enjoy it, even though I did complain a little bit halfway through. It was mostly book 2 that kind of bored me a little bit, but the third book definitely picked up the slack from that one. I'm definitely going to read more Elle Kaysen books. I know she has a quite extensive backlog and back catalog that I need to get into, but I obviously have a lot of other authors that I want to read. I know in the beginning of the video I mentioned that I was listening to an audiobook called Immortal Dark by Tigist, and I hadn't picked up that audiobook in days. I don't want to be unfair to the book or the author because I know it's a great first book to a series. However, I think I need to buy the physical copy and tandem read and listen to, the book in general, just because I'm that type of person that has to have, physical words in front of me in order for myself to retain what I'm reading, rather than just strictly listening to an audiobook, because I feel like I get distracted. So to be fair, I'm just gonna soft DNF that book for right now, and I'll get back to it at a later time. But thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go to my channel and check out many others that I have posted. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.